it mean for you in the future of technology? ABC7 News anchor Amanda Del Castillo talked about that with Darren Kimura, the CEO and president of AI Squared with headquarters in Mountain View.
So our main topic was going to be the landmark AI bill here in California, but we have a more pressing issue. We're talking about the government shutdown. We have talked all morning about how it's going to impact some essential business. How is it going to impact AI?
Yeah, in a pretty big way. So, you know, it's just happened. We know that it's happened a few years ago where government was shut down for, I think it was 35 days at that point. From an AI perspective, because it's such a new technology, there's a lot of new contracts that were in process, a lot of different projects that are being worked on. All of that, at least for now, is on hold. My understanding is that the government can't issue any new contracts during this shutdown period of time. So we did all we could up until this point. AI Squared is a dual-use technology contractor to the government, so we did all we could. But now we're on kind of wait and see.
Wait and see. I think that's what we're all doing now, huh? Okay, so now let's pivot and get to Governor Gavin Newsom announcing that landmark bill. We're talking about regulation to some AI companies. And part of it requires them to publish documents specifically on how they're creating safe AI systems. Can you break down what this looks like and then applied to AI Squared?
Sure. So the new law, SB 53, basically covers some of the largest, what we call frontier technology developers, or the large companies building models, OpenAI, Google, Meta, Anthropic, for example. And what they have to now do as of January 1st is publish guidelines on how they're building and deploying AI, how they're adding guardrails to AI so that the general public can be more comfortable with the way that AI is being created. The bill also provides for some additional protections. So, for example, whistleblowers who work for those companies, they are now able to submit complaints of, for example, you know, development of that technology directly to the government in an anonymous fashion, which is helpful. And also it provides for the creation of a new compute cluster, which will be used for technology companies and academics to build new AI models.
Yeah, so you talked a little bit about how you see it maybe changing some of these AI companies. Do you see those companies then now moving out of California to maybe bypass all of these restrictions and limitations?
You know, I definitely understand that argument. I do not see that happening. I do think that California is very unique, particularly in Silicon Valley, where this is where the talent is. This is the single largest concentration of this type of talented people, machine learning data scientists. I don't foresee that happening in the near future. In any way. And from our perspective, actually, we see this, we're not covered by this law. This law does start at about $500 million in revenues and a very, very high level of compute. So companies below that are not required to comply with this.
Okay, and I know that there are two levels to this. We're talking about state and federal. What does this mean for AI regulation on both levels then? Well,
the federal level, we've been trying to pass regulation for some time, even including up until the Big Beautiful Bill period of time, and that was unable to happen. As a result, you know, the states have now begun to take action. I think this law is one of the largest and more pervasive of any of the states. I think it becomes the precedent for many other states to come, but it's just the first. I mean, it's the first example of where we need to actually apply governance to AI. So I do think that the states will probably continue to take the leadership in this area, but eventually, you know, we'll see some federal, perhaps even some global type regulations or best practices.
So Darren, you're teaching me a lot. I think before this segment, I taught you a little bit about these humanoid robots and this underground fight club that we are seeing coming up in San Francisco. So this is, if you want to take a look at the screen right here, this is what's going on. People are wearing VR headsets, and then they're fighting one another through these humanoid robots. And so it has been billed as something that people in the AI community do maybe on a Friday night. And you can see it just, a lot of people gathered to watch this. Does this at all pique your interest in being in this realm?
It definitely does. I was recently in Japan at the Global Expo, and the big talk there was robotics and what we call applied AI or physical AI. So this is where robots now have AI and can make decisions for themselves, being able to fight, for example. As you can see from that video, it's still not quite there. It's not like real steel where they're actually boxing in a ring, for example, but it's coming. And I think that that's the future for sure. So, you know, my son, for example, I'm having him study robotics and AI,
Okay.
because I think that's where the jobs are going to be of the future.
Yeah, you got to get him into one of these fight clubs, huh?
We'll see.
You're like, I don't know. Darren, thank you so much for always coming in, sharing your time, and sharing your insight on this topic. We appreciate it so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
To see more interviews like this one, watch ABC7 at 7. It streams weekdays from 7 to 8 a.m. Just download the ABC7 News Bay Area app.